Welcome guys to Picama Stitches. Today this is the beautiful underburst gathered dress we're going to be making with this beautiful overlapping sleeve. Can you see the beautiful back zipper? It's a gathered dress. So if you're interested in this tutorial, kindly stay tuned, like and subscribe. We're going to be using a freehand method, so stay tuned guys. So guys, these are the fabrics we're going to be using. Okay, I have this Duchess fabric. It's 1 yard. I'm going to be using this for the upper part of our dress. I have this matching zipper, my lining, 2 yards of lining, and this crepe fabric. It's 3 yards. So let's get right into marking. So I have my fabric folded into 2 here. So fold your fabric into 2. We're going to go ahead and mark our 1 inch from the upper part, which is going to serve as our shoulder line, where all our measurements are going to be starting from. Okay, so mark it. I'm marking it numerous times so we can have a straight line. I'll connect this to have a straight line. So go ahead and do same. Good. So after connecting this serves as our shoulder line. So from the shoulder line here, I'm going to be marking to my bust point, which is 11 inches. I'm going to be marking to my under bust point, which is 15.5, and then I'll mark to the hem of the fabric, my waist, which is 18 inches, and I'm going to be adding half of an inch to that to make it 18.5. I'll connect these lines into a straight line. So kindly take your own measurements and take them accurately. Most importantly, the under bust line. Okay, so connect all your lines into a straight line. So take your time and get your measurements right. Once your measurement is right, your markings will definitely come out well. So I'll label the lines: bust point, under bust, and my waistline. So on this shoulder line, I'm going to be marking my shoulder measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark our 3 inches mark, okay, just to get our shoulder slope. From that 8-inch mark, I'll come down by 1 inch and connect to the shoulder slope. But first, I'll get my armhole measurement. It's your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. So for me, I just come upwards, from my bust point by 1 inch, and then I get my chest line. At that chest line, we're going to be taking the same shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. So I'm marking it in order to get a straight line. Now connect all these points I have to get a straight line from shoulder to the chest line. The 8 inches at the chest line, connect it, and then you connect your chest line measurements. So that line now becomes our chest line. Okay, that's my chest line. So I'll connect. Go ahead and measure yours as well. Okay, I'll connect the shoulder slope. I'll slant it. Make sure you add half of an inch, okay, for joining at the shoulder. Okay, then the next thing, from the sloped part, I'm going to be marking the midpoint of this, my armhole. Now for a plus size like myself, I'm going inwards by 0.75. So at the chest line here, I'm going to be taking my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll mark that there, then I'll connect. Watch how I connect this, okay? From the shoulder to my 0.75 and then back to my chest line, okay? And we have our perfect armhole curve. Now for a slim person, please do half of an inch, okay? So I'm adding 1.5 inch, which is our sewing allowance. Now at the under bust, you're going to go upward by 2.5 inches from your under bust. Just watch what I'm doing. From your under bust line, go upwards minimum 2.5 inches. Now I'm going to connect it in a curved manner back to your under bust line. Please watch closely. You can use your curved ruler to achieve this, or you can use your freehand, but make sure you're connecting back to your underbust line. There's another style where they connect to 1 inch below the underbust line, but the one we're doing today is different, okay? So we're connecting it back to the underbust line. Just watch what I'm doing. 2.5 inch above the underbust and connect it, and that's it. Can you see what we have here? So if you want yours to have more curve, you can go up by 3 inches, but 2.5 was just perfect for me. Okay, so after doing that, we're going to be marking our underbust measurements. Okay, now you can decide to mark this. It depends on the number of pleats you want. Okay, you can decide to add 3 inches or maximum 4 inches to this. Okay, so I'm marking my actual underbust measurements plus sewing allowance. Then I'm going to be adding 3 inches to this. Okay, that's how much pleats I want. Okay, so from there I have 3 inches. So I'm connecting. Can you see what the way I'm connecting this from my bust point? My bust point is instant because there's no pleat there connected to your underbust. Now my neck width, I'm going to be taking 3.75. Okay, I'm going to be using 3.75. You can use whatever neck width you want, and a depth of 7 inches. Okay, that's how deep I want it to be. You can do more, you can do less. So I'm going to connect from my 7 inches to my 3.75 in order to get my neck depth. So watch how I'm connecting this. Just connect it smoothly, and there you have it. Okay, so if you're cutting separately, you can decide to add half of an inch at this lower part. Just watch how I'm cutting. Okay, I'm not cutting on the exact line, but I'm going to be adding some allowance at the lower part to make up for it, so I won't have any shortage. Okay, so just watch the way I'm cutting this. Okay, follow the line. So the allowance I have is exact 3 inches that I added to the underbust measurement. Okay, then note where your slant stopped. Okay, it will guide you in case you want to make your pleat. You will know where your pleat is going to stop. Okay, you can use that also as a guide. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut everything about the upper part out. I'm not fast forwarding this so you can see the exact lines I'm cutting through. So if you've watched this video up to this point and you've not liked, please kindly like. Oh God, I cry for likes, but I don't get. Please kindly like. It encourages me to actually get these fabrics and put these videos out here, do the editing and all, just for us to learn from. Okay, so please kindly like and subscribe for more. Okay, thank you so much. As you do, God bless you. So I'm going ahead to cut out. Remember to add your ½ inch to the shoulder for joining. So we're done with the upper piece. So we'll go back to this other part. Now at this actual underbust line, you're going to be taking your normal underbust measurement without adding allowance for pleats. You only add your normal sewing allowance to it. Okay, you can choose to mark that point we took at the upper part. Okay, so I'm marking my underbust round measurement plus my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. My underbust measurement and my waistline is the same. That's why I'm marking the exact same thing. So if you were cutting separately, just add ½ an inch to that point where we marked. Okay, and that's it. We're done with the cutting of the front part. So in case, just to avoid shortage, I'm going to be adding half of an inch extra to the lower part since we're cutting directly on fabric. Can you see what we're doing here? So add half of an inch and cut out. Remember, you're marking your actual underbust measurement on this other part plus your sewing allowance. So this underbust now will guide us when we're making the pleat. It will guide us to pleat the exact underbust measurement. Do you understand? So you pleat it the way you want to pleat. Either you want the pleat to be at the center or at the sides, is up to you. So we're going to go ahead now and cut out our back piece. So I have my fabric folded into two. So we'll go ahead and take our 1 inch mark again, like we always do. 1 inch for shoulder guide, and then you connect this into a straight line. Beautiful. So from that point, I'm going to be marking my back half length. Our back half length and front half length is not the same. So my back half length is 16 inches. I'm going to be adding half of an inch to that, okay? So this will help me for my half-inch sewing allowance. Now at the waistline, go inwards by 1.5 inch. Just watch what I'm doing and connect it in a slanted manner back to the upper part. This will help us to eliminate zipper bulge. You saw the way the back of my dress sat exactly on my back, okay? So if you want that same effect, just follow what I'm doing and you'll get a perfect shape. So connect it in a slanted manner to that 1.5 inch. Now from that line, that's where we're going to be marking all our zipper allowance line from. So I'm going to be using 1 inch zipper allowance. So from that line, follow the slanted shape, okay? Just follow the line. I'm marking my 1 inch zipper allowance all the way to the top. So do same if you want the same effect. Okay, if you want it to be deeper, you can go inwards by 2 inches, but 1.5 is just perfect. So can you see what we have? Now all our markings are going to be starting from this 1 inch zipper allowance line. So I'll go ahead and mark from that line my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark the 3 inches mark for our shoulder slope guide. And then from the shoulder line, we'll come down by 1 inch, okay? And then we'll connect, we'll slant it. So please don't forget to add your half of an inch, okay, for joining the shoulders together. So from there, I'm going to be marking my shoulder to bust. We don't need underbust for the back, and my shoulder to waist, okay? Plus half of an inch for joining, okay? So go ahead and extend these lines. Go ahead and extend them. Just your shoulder to bust point and shoulder to waist for the back. Extend the lines and label them, my waistline and my bust line, okay? So we're going to mark our chests, our armhole line, just the same way we did for the front, okay? Your round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch will give you your chest line measurement. So I'm doing the exact thing we did. Remember, we came upwards by 1 inch from our bust points. That's for me. So whatever you have as yours, please use that exactly. So I'm going to confirm I have exact from that 1 inch zipper line. I'm marking my shoulder line. Now this line is not going to be straight because the slanted zipper line has altered it, but just follow it the way it is, okay? And connect your 8-inch mark, and we've created our chest line. Now for the back piece here, I'm going to be using half of an inch for to shapen my armhole. Remember, for the front I used 0.75, but for the back I'm going to be using 1/2 inch. Now on that chest line, I'm marking my chest, my round bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. At the waistline, my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to be connecting these lines. Okay, now I'm getting the midpoint of this my armhole line, and at the midpoint I'm going to come inwards by 1/2 inch for the back. Then I'm going to connect this, connect it back to your round bust measurement to get your armhole cuff. Now remember, we took 3.75 for the back, so we're taking the same. It has to be the same from that zipper allowance line, remember. Then for the back depth, I'm using 1 inch. I'm going to connect this all the way into the zipper allowance line, and we're done with the back. Okay, it's as simple as that. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. So watch closely the lines I'm cutting through. Okay, so remember to add your 1/2 inch for shoulder joining, very important, okay, to avoid shortage. Just watch the lines I'm cutting through. I didn't fast forward this so you can see this clearly. Okay, please kindly like and subscribe if you're getting value, and I know you are. Okay, please, thank you. So watch the lines we're cutting through. We're going to be cutting this out. Go ahead and cut out your armhole. Okay, and we are done with our back piece. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut out the exact same thing on the main fabric. Okay, the Duchess fabric. 2 pieces for the back. Okay, but the front is going to be on fold. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut this out. Can you see what we have? The front pieces are on fold, both the upper one and the lower one, but the back will be opened because of the zipper. Can you see what we have? So I've gone ahead to cut this out on my main fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and sew up the neckline, sew up the zipper part and the sides. Then for the lower part, I'm going to go ahead and create my pleats at the underburst line. Okay, sew up my neckline. Okay, just I'm going to show us how to create these gathers. Just gather smoothly, gently. Okay, can you see? Now I added stay. It's actually optional, but I decided to add stay just to the front piece. Okay, so I'm going to use my lining to show us what I mean. After making a loose stitch on your sewing machine, pick one piece of the thread and pull to create your gathers. Okay, now I made excess gather here. That's what I meant by your actual underbust measurement to be your guide now for you to know the gathers you're going to be making. Okay, so can you see the gather we've made here? Now when I bring in the lower part, okay, when I bring in the lower part, you match the center point, okay, to the center of the upper part. It will guide you on the amount of pleats or gathers you're supposed to make. Can you see? I'm spreading this out because I made excess gathers. So this lower part is actually our guide. So match the center piece to the center piece, and then you spread out your gather. Remember the sides, there won't be gathers at the sides of the underbust. So the sides will be straight, it will align, but the pleats will be at the center part or 1 inch away from the center part. Okay, the pleat is actually up to you, whichever style, whichever pattern you want to use, but this underbust parts will be our guide. Can you see what we have? So I'll go ahead and sew this up. I'll do the same thing to the main fabric. Okay, just spread out your gather. Make sure the sides is straight. I'll do the same thing to the main fabric and then I'll show us what we have. So I've gone ahead to fix this. Can you see what we have? The sides are straight. Then the pleat is 1 inch away from the center line. Can you see what we have? I've done same for my lining piece. I'm going to be putting them right sides facing each other, and then I'll be turning the neckline. Now I actually added belts to this dress later, so if you want to add belt, this is the point you do. Okay, I didn't remember to show us. I'll sew up the neckline and sew up the sides and turn it out. Now can you see our beautiful dress? It's gradually coming out. Okay, so this is the upper parts and I've ironed this out neatly. Can you see the inside? So beautiful. Please, your work just has to be neat. Okay, I've ironed this out neatly. I've done same for the back. I've sewn up the neckline and the sides. Okay, can you see what we have here? Very beautiful. So we're going to go ahead now and join the shoulders, right sides facing each other. If you've been following my tutorial, you know how we turn and shoulders neatly. So go ahead and join yours, okay? Join the shoulders and shape the sides. We're going to go ahead now and cut out our sleeve. I have my fabric folded into two. I'm going to go ahead and straighten out the edges, okay? You're going to cut out a big fabric, maybe 30 inches by 25 inches, depending on the length of the sleeve that you want, how big you want your sleeve to be, okay? So this was 25 inches for me. I'm going to slit this open, okay? So we can have two. Just watch what I'm doing, okay? You will understand. Now this other part, we're going to go ahead and open it into two again. Fold it into two and open this up. Now after watching this, you decide what length or width you want for yours. It depends on how big or how wide and the pleats you want. If you want pleats on your sleeve, that will also determine your fold, okay? So I'm going to use one part of this to illustrate for us, then we'll use it to cut out the other pieces. Now, we're going to be using this piece for our illustrations. Okay. So let's work with one piece for now, okay? So you're going to make this, the right side will be facing the lower part. We're marking on the wrong side of the fabric. Now I want my sleeve to overlap by 4 inches. So I'm going ahead to mark the 4 inch at the upper part, and at the lower part, I'll go ahead and connect. If you want yours to have pleats, you can do more than this 4 inches, okay? So I'll bring this other part of my fabric and overlap it, not overlap, sorry, lay it exactly on that 4-inch mark and pin it down. Can you see what I'm doing here? The right side is also facing the lower parts. Match it up at that 4-inch. Now you're going to mark the midpoint of your 4-inch inwards. Just watch what I'm doing. Mark the midpoint of your 4 inches, which is 2 inches for me, and connect it as well from the upper part to the lower part. Now this is going to be the midpoint of our sleeve, okay? If you don't understand, just watch it all over again. It's very simple. Whatever you marked, if it's 5 inches, lay this on it and get the midpoint and fold, okay? And you fold it back into two, ensuring that these midpoints align and the sides also align. I'm going ahead to use my pins, so make sure you work with your pins so you don't make mistake. You can go ahead and iron this out so it lays flat. So get the midpoint and fold them together. Can you see what we have here now? So you're going to go ahead and measure your armhole measurements, okay? So I'm measuring what I have for my armhole round to be sure the fabric I have on fold will be enough for me, and it's just perfect for me. I'll go ahead and mark what I have there. Then I'll come down at that point by 4 inches, 4 or 4.5 inches, and I'll create my armhole cuff. Now I use the freehand method here. If you need a detailed tutorial on how to make a sleeve, just let me know in the comment section. Now at the lower part, I'll be marking my round sleeve plus 2 inches because it's a free sleeve. It's not a fitted sleeve, okay? So it needs to be free. I added 2 inches. Now I'm going ahead to confirm this cuff if it will fit into my armhole, and it's just perfect for me. So you go ahead now and cut this out. It's as simple as this. You're done with the cutting for now, okay? So just go ahead and cut this out. Go ahead and cut out the armhole, and you cut out the lower part. Now this lower part depends on how wide you want it to be, okay? If you want yours wider than what you saw in mine, you can also increase it, okay? I'll shapen the lower part just to make it equal. So the length of my sleeve here was 10 inches. So 10 inches is just fine. I'm going ahead to align the lower part, okay? And that's what we have. I'm going to go ahead and take out my pins for us to cover the lower part, but please notch this midpoint. That will guide you on your overlap, okay? This is what will help our sleeve to come out beautiful. Now when you open this up, this is what you have, right sides facing each other. Please, if it's confusing, just download the video and take your time to watch this all over again, okay? So from this center point, create your curve to the sides. This curve is totally up to you. There's no calculation, special calculation. Just create the curve that you want to the side, okay? It's a freehand thing, okay? Depends on how deep or how low you want your curve to be. So I just curved mine a little bit, and I'll curve it to the sides. Can you see what we have there? Now when we open this up, remember we made a notch. Now that notch will help us to overlap this. Make sure the notches are aligned. And when they are aligned, can you see what we have? Our sleeve is ready. Can you see how easy it is? Okay. So that notch is very, very important. It guides you on the right thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on my lining. Now this is just for one sleeve, so you need to cut this out exact same thing for another sleeve. Now the crepe fabric was shorter than these touches, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out for the crepe fabric, which is the shorter one on top, but this one will be the one at the lower part, so it's longer than the crepe fabric. So you will lay this to cut out, meaning you're cutting out 4 pieces, 2 for one sleeve, 2 for the other sleeve. You're going to go ahead and cut out your lining the exact same way, okay? 2 linings to turn the other sleeve, 2 linings for the other sleeve. If you want to use your fabric to turn, it's fine. If you want to add stay to yours to make it have a more standing effect, is very, very beautiful. It's up to you, okay? So just go ahead and cut out the exact same thing. So if you've watched up to this point, please like, be cool. I'll post a video and I have views of 100 plus, just one like. Please guys, it's not actually fair. It's really, really painful. Please kindly like, because it encourages me, okay? Please, thank you. As you're watching now, just like and subscribe. Then make sure you notch, okay? Very, very important. So you can see what we have. I'm going to go ahead and fold this crepe to cut the shorter part. Now for the crepe, the upper part here is going to be the exact same thing. The only difference is going to be the lower part, okay? The crepe will be 2 inches shorter than the Duchess fabric. Yeah. So just watch what I'm doing. If you want yours to be the same thing, it's fine. You want to get the exact same style you saw, okay, on the thumbnail, then this was how I got that. So watch how I cut this out. Now this fabric is folded into two. So what we're cutting out now is for one sleeve, okay? So go ahead and cut from the center. I'm lifting the upper one out, okay? I'm lifting it up so I can follow the curve and reduce it, though I'll turn it to the other part so we can really trim off what we need, okay? And then you go ahead and cut out. But if you don't want to go through this, just cut the upper part the exact same way, turn it over to the other part and mark 2 inches and cut it off, okay? But I just used my eye to cut this out. Can you see what we have? So I'll go ahead and trim this some more. I want this to be 2 inches shorter. So just go ahead and trim, and there you have it. Go ahead and reduce it. The side and the upper part is the exact same thing, okay? Now don't forget to notch. Very important, the notches must be the same, okay? Without this notch, you won't know where you'll be overlapping from, okay? So this notch will really guide you. So I'll go ahead and cut out 2 of this crepe fabric as well to have 4 pieces, 2 for each sleeve, 2 for each sleeve. Now you're going to sew only at this lower part to this corner. Can you see? Okay, when you sew that, you stop stitch and turn it over and just sew down the upper part. That's what you're going to do. So I'll go ahead and do this, and then I'll show us what we have. Can you see? So I've gone ahead to sew up the upper part, and can you see our sleeve? So after turning it, I laid the shorter one on top and I overlapped it and top stitch. Can you see what we have now? Can you see our sleeve? So beautiful. So have a closer look. I turned this upper part with the fabric, but the lower part I used lining because my fabric was not enough. And then I joined them together. Okay, and that's our sleeve. I did same for the upper part, the other part. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the bodice, okay? And we're done with our upper part. Can you see? I've joined them together. So after doing this for the lower part, you're going to be subtracting what you have, okay, to get the full length of your dress, okay? So subtract the upper part to get the full length. For me, for the lower part, I used 43 inches plus hemming allowance, okay? So I'm using the whole 3 yards of fabric because I really need this to be gathered, okay? So fold your fabric into 2, notch the midpoint. You're going to align the midpoints to the midpoint of the upper part and pin them together, okay? So you place right sides facing each other. Let the midpoints align, okay? So subtract the upper parts to get the full length of your fabric. Now let this midpoint align with the lower parts. So I'm going to place them right sides facing each other. I'll pin this down. Then I'll gather from that center to the other side, gather from the center to the other side of the zipper. I hope you understand. Now the zipper part is not going to be gathered, it's going to be straight because we're adding zipper to that. So I'll quickly do that and show us what we have. So I've gone ahead to gather. Can you see what we have? And then I joined. Can you see? Sorry, I've not joined the lining yet. So I'm bringing in the lining to show us what we have. My lining is short, it's not much, okay? But so I'll just split it, I won't be gathering. So flip the lower part, let it be right sides facing each other. You're going to be sandwiching the lining in between the main piece. Just watch what I'm doing. The upper part is in the center of the crepe and the lining. Then you go ahead and pleat it to your waist measurement. When you flip it over, you have a neat finish. Then you join the sides, the both sides of the crepe together. Okay, when you're done gathering, okay, or pleating, if your own is enough, join the sides the way you see me do before you flip it over. Join the sides to where your lining stops. Your lining, of course, must be shorter than the main fabric. Okay, so guys, I'm done with doing that. See what we have here. Okay, by the time I flip it over, can you see how neat it is? Your work must always be neat, okay, whether it's yours or not. Okay, can you see the inside? I pleated mine, okay, because my lining is short, but if you have enough lining, go ahead and gather. Can you see the inside is concealed? Can you see the sides? I've turned the sides. I'm going to give this a good press later. So we're going to be attaching our zipper. So what you do is from the lower parts, or from the upper part, sorry, mark down to where you want your zipper to be. Most times I just come down from my waistline by 9 inches and close up the other part to the lower part. And then I fix my zipper at the upper part. I hope you understand. From your waistline, mark down 9 inches and then close it up to the hem. From that 9-inch mark, close up by 1 inch to the hem, and then you fix in your zipper at the upper parts and you're done. Okay, make sure your waistline is well aligned. That's the beauty of your dress. So I'll go ahead and fix in my zipper, and then I'll show us the end result. Please, if you watched up to this point, kindly like, share, and subscribe. So I'll go ahead and fix in my zipper, and this is what we have. Guys, can you see this? So beautiful. Ensure the waist is aligned, okay? Can you see our beautiful sleeve overlapping neatly? Our zipper nicely fixed. Can you see the lower part, the fullness we have? Look at the right side. Can you see this? Our neckline is sitting pretty. Our gathers is really beautiful. Okay, so what you go ahead to do now is to hem the lower part. Okay, like this video, please kindly like. Thank you guys. Go ahead and fold the lower part twice. Okay, fold 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch, or whatever hemming allowance you left, and you sew it round. So thank you guys for stopping by for today's tutorial. I really appreciate. In the next 2 days, I'm going to be posting another beautiful tutorial on a free boo dress. So kindly subscribe and like. Till I see you guys next time. Bye bye.